Hello from Bangkok. This is the accommodation I'm staying in. It's like an Airstream trailer. Anyway, it's mid-December 2021 and Thailand is starting to open again. There's a lot of restrictions still to get in. You have to have something called a Thailand pass. It's pretty early in the morning now. I'm staying around the corner from Khao San Road, which I'm going to walk down now, just to demonstrate how quiet it is here. To enter Thailand at the moment you need a Thailand pass. A lot of places need a visa, although they've just stopped that, but you still need to get one online. You just have to go to the embassy. Both of those websites are awkward to use, let us say. Spent a week or two trying to get both of those things. Some usability issues. So it's awkward to come here. You have to do a one-day hotel quarantine, which is pretty good. That before, a few months ago, you used to have to do, I think, a week or two in a government hotel, which cost thousands of dollars. It's very difficult to come here. Most things were closed. Now it's easier. But this is Khao San Road I'm coming onto now. If you've seen The Beach, the movie The Beach, with not Keanu Reeves, the other guy, I forget his name, one of the most famous actors in the world. Anyway, I'll just let you see how empty this street is now. Completely dead. It's 7 AM, but even in the middle of the day it's pretty empty. Anyway, that movie The Beach, if you haven't seen it, captures what it's like to backpack in Thailand pretty well. This street I'm on now, Khao San Road, is probably the most famous backpacker street in the world, and it would usually be completely full, not so much at this time, but it'll still be pretty busy at this time, of street food stands, backpackers, tourists. There's a lot of bars on this street which are open again, but they close at 11 or 9 or 11 depending on who you listen to. I think I stopped serving alcohol at 9, but they actually close at 11. They used to be open all night. This street was just full of backpackers, 24 hours a day. It's completely empty now. Now, once the current situation has remedied itself and things hopefully get back to normal, I would expect this street to get back to how it was before. But it really is surreal. I mean, Thailand's the second place outside Europe I ever came to. This is, to see it empty like this is a really surreal experience. Yeah, you would have people trying to sell you tourism tickets, accommodation, like it would just be completely rammed. So the question is, obviously Thailand's still pretty quiet. Apparently it was even quieter in the middle of the current situation. I'm just going to get my sunglasses out. So it's starting to pick up. Now the problem is we've got the new variant now, so maybe it's going to go backwards again. So a lot of this depends on whether the new variant takes off, whether it's a big deal. I know the UK people are starting to work from home again, so I mean we have to come out of this eventually, and at that point I would expect places like this to get back to normal. The question is it worth coming here now? Well, I've been here for 2 days. I've probably been to Thailand between 5 and 10 times before, because I used to live in Vietnam, so I used to come here quite a lot. Sorry about the video. I should be wearing a mask now, by the way. You have to wear masks in public at all times in theory, but it doesn't seem to be that enforced, but I normally do it anyway, but it might be a bit muffled if I do it on here. So yeah, I'd expect this to get back to normal eventually, hopefully everything will. But is it worth coming here now? Well, if you just want to hit a nice beach, then the beaches are going to be more empty. It's actually quite interesting walking around the city. Not only are there fewer tourists, but I guess more people are working from home. So like every major city at the moment, they're quieter in the centre than they normally would be. So that's kind of a unique experience. Maybe you'll never get to experience this again. So from that perspective, it could be worth it. In terms of the Thai pass and the visa I mentioned earlier, they are, I mean, it's just sitting in front of a computer, but they are a lot of hassle. And it's easy to screw them up. I managed to, of course there's no such thing as user error, right? I managed to not realise you had to do an extra step to pay for the visa. So after several days of messing around trying to figure out their form, I didn't pay for the visa and it never came. So what I've done is what I can do is come here for 30 days with no visa and extend. So I intend to extend. That's fixable. The Thai pass, it said on one website that you had to buy the flights before you can get the pass. I eventually got the flights, but that turned out not to be true because that was old information. And then there were various things on that Thai pass that slowed me down. I thought I wasn't going to get it. But luckily I joined a Facebook group called something like Thai Visa Help. There's a few of them. And they told me you can get the Thai pass in a few seconds if you pass their automated system. And to pass the automated system, when you submit your vaccination document, just submit the QR code and get the insurance that they recommend, which is AXA, which is somehow I missed the first time. Once I got those, then I submitted it like that. I got the Thai pass in 2 minutes. But you really need to look into those well before you come. You don't need to get the flight first. So if you're planning to come, get the Thai pass and ideally the visa sorted out weeks in advance. There's no real downside to it. And people have said they didn't actually book a flight. No one checked for my flight out either, though I do have a flight out in about 55 days. Just technically outside my visa application area. So you just need to get those booked well in advance. That's what I'd say for that. Is it worth it? Well, that depends on so I'm just going to turn around rather than going a bit right. That depends on whether you want to put in the time to apply, because it seems like, oh yeah, all I've got to do is fill in some web forms. What I'm doing now is actually going to a cafe called the Coffee Club to do some work. I'm still a bit kind of combination of jet lagged and sleep deprived, so then I've been sleeping at weird times, so I woke up very early this morning. But I'm going to apparently Australia's biggest coffee chain, the Coffee Club, and I'm a huge fan of Australian coffee, and they do Eggs Benedict, so looking forward to this. Obviously I've been eating a lot of great Thai food, but as I've always said, Asian food is amazing. Indian food is my favourite food. There's two things Asians, it's going to sound like a terrible generalisation, but I think it's true. Two things Asians can't do as well as Westerns: alcohol and sweet food. Oh, sorry, three. And breakfast will be the other one. Rice for breakfast, not really for me. So I'm going to get some Eggs Benedict at the Coffee Club. But other than that, obviously the rest of the food in Thailand is amazing, and I've really been enjoying that. But yeah, whether it's worth coming here now, it's going to be so much more hassle. If you came here before the current situation, it's way more hassle than that. And when you get to the airport, either in this video or one of my others, I took a bit of footage there as well. You just got to jump through a lot of hoops. It's not like it's difficult, it's just kind of hassle. It lengthens things. When you arrive in the airport, you have to stay on the plane. If you're transiting, this was in Singapore, then you have to stay. When you arrive in Thailand, I can't remember if they separated us there as well, if that's just a Singapore thing. When you arrive in Thailand, you have to go to a quarantine hotel, which costs about $100 to $150 a night, but you get 2 or 3 meals for that. I stayed in a really nice hotel actually for that money, just for one day. Tuk-tuk drivers trying to get my attention. I don't see anywhere near as many tuk-tuks as I used to. I guess that's because a combination of Grab, which is their Uber here, and in fact there's no tourists, just mean they've got to do something else. But yeah, you have to stay in that quarantine hotel, so that's 150 bucks. There's a lot more costs involved. It used to be you could just get on a cheap flight, spend $5 a day, $10 a day if you really wanted low budget. Well, not much more than that, and just have a really cheap trip. There's going to be more upfront costs now, although it is still, you know, obviously a very cheap country and a great place to visit for many reasons. There's more hassle. You've got to get the insurance, that's $100. You've got to get Yeah, the quarantine hotel, that's another $100. If you're applying for a visa for a longer time, if you want to stay more than 30 days, I think that's another $100 or something like that. And if you extend, that's another $100. And then to extend, you have to get passport photos and other documents made. There's just a lot more messing around. There's going to be a lot more time and more money than it used to be. But you know, that's the time we live in. It depends what else you're going to be doing. I mean, if you really want to get away, this is a great place to come. And for me, it was worth putting that time in. For some reason, my camera doesn't look straight. It's just triggering my OCD. Anyway, so you can see Khao San Road is pretty dead. So I'm just looking at the map. I'll keep videoing walking to the coffee club. The road might get a bit noisy though, so I may have to turn this off. And I always feel a little bit what's the word, self-conscious, well, not self-conscious, a bit worried the camera might get stolen if I'm on a busy street, which I'm going to be soon. But my thoughts on it are, you know, criminals don't wake up early, and it's like 7:30, so there's a cop coming now. Maybe I'll just put my mask on just to be safe. So yeah, that's the situation. Is it worth it? That's up to you. I mean, if you've never been to Thailand, the thing is, no one really knows when this is going to end. It could be like this for, it could be like this for years. I mean, how long can you put your life on hold? If you're worried about getting stuck here, I guess it could happen. Let's be honest, there's better places to be stuck. But maybe that would be bad for you, because you know, you can't be away from home for a long period of time for whatever reason. That's definitely a consideration. And you may have to pay for that, one way or another. But yeah, it's very quiet. I mean, it is Saturday morning as well, so it's relatively quiet at this time on Saturday. Yeah, so I thought it was worth coming. I've got no regrets. I'm heading to Chiang Mai, which is in the north, early next week, because that is the big digital nomad hub in Thailand. It's getting quite noisy now. And one of the biggest in the world. So at the moment I'm doing a tour around a lot of digital nomad hubs. So that should be interesting. The co-working spaces there look absolutely amazing, I have to say. I'm looking forward to that, but I'm here for a few more days. And yeah, it's hopefully this will be quite a unique experience visiting Bangkok when it's this quiet, because normally it's unbelievable. Oh shit, I'm walking past the police station. Hopefully they don't care I'm not wearing a mask or filming. Yeah, hopefully it's a unique experience. Maybe it won't be, who knows, but it is kind of nice in a way that it is a bit quieter. And it's kind of surreal to see Khao San Road that quiet. I went into the centre yesterday. That seems a bit quieter as well. There seems to be a bit less traffic, although there is a lot of traffic and there's still a lot of people. It's still a very large city with a lot of people who live here, quite apart from tourists. But yeah, so that's the situation. If you want to come, apply for the Thailand pass, the visa well in advance, or you can get you can either apply for a 60-day visa and get a 30-day extension, or a 30-day and get a 60-day extension. Of course, that depends on your country, so you definitely need to check this stuff. Don't take my word for it. And of course, it can change. I think it's worth coming, so whether it is or not is up to you. But I'm going to leave now because it's getting busy. But I will see you guys on the road.